Welcome to this thing where dead people can be, quantified. You can look at my watch right now to quantify my name, and today we're looking at, the thing you're watching right now, Flick Free. I think it was released in 2023. Sorry if it was different from normal openings, I just wanted to do this in the movie, lol.
Flick Free might as well be my most surprising release ever. It's been just over 2 years since the already poorly aged Flick 2 released, and this one might have just come out at a perfect time. This one's gonna provide a massive spark in wildness, so just stay on for the ride. It's even more surprising how I managed to get another Flick out. Although statistically, it would be the easiest to actually get out in the end. The game being played in Flick Free already serves as a Rec Room equivalent to Flickr, the game that was played in Flicks 1 and 2 on Roblox. It provides a more subdued approach to everything Flick 2 might have tried to do. There's only about 2 things in this film that relate with the LGBT community, while Flick 2 just swam in it. Flick 2 felt a bit too pushy about all of it, so I'm glad Flick 3 manages to stay out of it, considering the game it takes place in. And in many regards, it brings a lot of new things into the franchise. Cause I like how there's a new video thing that just comes completely out of nowhere. The game takes advantage of all the stuff that's in Rec Room yet not in Roblox. And what you saw in the beginning was actually a scene from this movie. It's also a much more bodily film than Flicks 1 and 2, with entire killing sprees that take place in the dark. And there's also things in this movie that poke fun at the nature of kill counting in general. Like, well, figuring out what people's names are to put on the kill graphics throughout this episode.
You know, I am doing a stat to my count of almost 7,000 deaths counted.
Fucking what?
In the end, I'm happy this film takes the most wild turn out of any GGF871 film yet. Now, how many wild kills could exactly be pulled out of that? Well, let's see. The movie begins by showing us a whole lot of unexplained disappearances happening on a red carpet. It turns out she got in just a little bit too late to be part of the game that's currently happening. Justy flips the camera location a few times for finding out where everybody eventually is. But their heated political debate gets shut down by a sudden blackout. That goes on for a while before suddenly someone else appears. Before the blackout, we can actually see them for a few seconds inside the game. And with the reveal of a badly hidden chalk outline, this guy must have died. I'll count this guy, Happy Waffles, as our first victim on the count, as we could technically see a part of your death. Everyone has trouble trying to piece together who the murderer is before suddenly the game eventually ends. Since they got onto the red carpet in time, they can join the game. Joining them on the adventure is a guy who looks exactly like Jesus Christ, although some of the stuff he says may not be very Christian.
Oh shit, oh fuck, oh no, shit, oh fucking hell no. I hate this game.
Everyone's all of a sudden in the same room, which would make it prime target for a murderer during a blackout. Although we're not exactly in blackout territory yet, the murderer already has a victim on their mind. This guy in an orange hoodie who they just kill inconspicuously in front of everybody. You know, everyone saw that, right? Well, everyone is astounded by the idiocy of the detective. The murderer comes in for an all-out blackout massacre. It's a little hard to tell to get everybody in there exactly right, but we do see a lot of stuff, including the aftermath. At the most, there are 7 people inside the room. If you remove the detective, that would make it 6. Since detective can't get killed, 6 people died in the blackout massacre. Everyone else who was in the room just spawns back into the main room because they had all gotten murdered, remember? The murderer named Elmo had won just because of that singular blackout. Much to quite literally everybody's dismay, the detective is the exact same idiot girl as before. And I guess I also missed one crucial role. Title card! Justy has spawned in a hallway with another woman. Inside the hall, there is a bizarre sight. 2 detectives. Well, I guess because of that, the murderer just left, and the idiot detective girl is leaving too. How fun! A new guy is the detective, the first victim of the blackout massacre. The correct words to use for this next game is right away, cause that's how I would describe Justy's death in this. And also, judging by the shadow, it seems that Gay Cape Star was with them too, so I also add Gay Cape Star onto the count. In the hall, there seems to be a massive feud in between everybody, so we should probably switch to another room like the lounge. Or the conservatory, where the murderer is quite literally just walking right by a detective. A minute and a half later, the detective decides that they've had enough of all of this and just leaves. Meanwhile, we have a new guest. Mr. Bean! After the surprise cameo, a new game starts up, where Justy doesn't die within like the first 15 seconds. Alright, that's acceptable. Justy runs upstairs for clues. Score! And there's also a smart idea by going down to the cellar, grabbing onto the ladder just so they don't die. Arrives another blackout, in the sight of a body in the hall. For some reason, they think Justy's the murderer just because she's like, what, right there when the body was there? Or no, go back. That looks like a secret passage, so I guess that's why they think she's the murderer. Okay. While she tries to get a picture of this chalk outline, the murderer arrives. Just a lot of fun. And that's how Downey suffers an off-screen fate. However, even though they all saw the murder happen, chasing the murderer is hard. Especially if you're Justy. I mean, those kinds of people just die the easiest. And it looks like the murderer, Rachel, apparently won the game. That's cool. Going back into the mansion, Justy spawns in the dining room. The new detective who they encounter in the kitchen is a guy named Mark. After socializing, Space Cat and Ren walk into the room. They're only here just so they can get the location of something, so they leave the room shortly after. And then arrives Mr. Bean! Just like Space Cat and Ren, he leaves very quickly. After Justy introduces the video format, we see somebody die in the conservatory. It is a very brief sight, but we can at least discern that the victim is at the very least male. Very soon after, it disappears due to the hands of a possible janitor. And this is when the video comes in to full display.
Hey guys, welcome back to another epic content related video. Today we'll be figuring out who the murderer is. It's him.
But very shortly, we soon do get an answer. The most wild cricket to ever exist. Soon after, the next game begins, with Justy in a luxurious bedroom. She makes her way down to the dining room to find Walter White invading. After exiting the dining room, she also finds an accidental great opportunity to make more content revolving around clues.
Hey guys, today we'll be going into the music room. You honestly won't believe how epic this video will be, so let's get started.
Oh, not at all? That's disappointing. Less disappointment and more concerning stuff, though, as Justy walks into yet another blackout. This leads her to the hall where she can find two bodies, who I won't count since we can't identify who they belong to. She tries to get new videos set up for over a minute near these two dead bodies, but she just fails each and every time. Finally, she figures out about the existence of a dead body in a corner, which I also won't count. We still don't know who that one belongs to. Meanwhile, the murderer sets in yet another blackout. You've got to be kidding me. This one also features a cameo from Justy dying. Another one begins with Justy spawning exactly where she wants to. And finally, Justy finds a spot in the hall that is great for video production. I mean, it does have some great lighting. Finally, she can begin the YouTube channel for dreams, Justy64DS.
Oh, I got it. Let's try to figure out who the murderer is.
She's already running out of ideas. Throughout all of these videos, there's always at least a looming threat in the background. There's like always no confirmation where the murderer is at any specific time. Meanwhile, the light feed goes out during Justy's recording session. Make sure to call the number in the top right of the corner to make sure you got your kill count right. And oh man, it's gonna be one of those. They also got a lot of other people too. Oh man, looks like the other two might have just joined, so I'll put the other two in there on the count. And eventually, Justy starts rehearsing.
So I find it's better standing up. Yeah, somebody died, but like, I don't care. You think I care about these deaths? Lol. No, I don't.
To get the audio they want, they have to turn the people's voices they can hear all the way down. Then they start rehearsing for the actual opening of this kill count. But before that, they just want to have a small little bit of fun. There are a lot of interrupting factors that interrupt whatever could have been done here, but ultimately, in the end, they end up getting it successfully. Here we go. This is it. Let's see how it ends up.
Welcome to this thing where dead people can be, well, quantified. You can look at my watch right now to quantify my name, and today we're looking at, the thing you're watching right now, Flick Free. I think it was released in 2023.
And obviously, that was used at the beginning of today's kill count.
Sorry if it was different from normal openings, I just wanted to do this in the movie, lol.
Afterwards, the longest game in the movie begins. This one lasts the entire 15 minutes. And along with this, we get some new people. Mr. Lucky Bowl there in the background, and this asexual bastard. Yes, that is actually what they are referred to in the credits of this movie. Just great. This is another one where Justy gets some videos done. This video stuff, like I said at the beginning, is yet another way this movie eases at the wildness. Everyone is now in the kitchen, where the asexual bastard is describing himself.
I'm a petty cunt, but I will fucking murder you. I'm a petty bastard, but I will not bang you. I'm petty. What?
A tour guide of the entire mansion soon follows. Something tells me I've already told you guys to fuck off before. The lounge is filled with the asexual bastard, Dr. Guy, Space Cat, and Elmo. They're pissed that they haven't been able to find the murderer yet, hence should trigger yet another blackout. One recording later, the lights turn back on. Relating with the asexual bastard thing, another funny thing in the credits is lesbianism helped make this movie possible. No, it's the Xbox Game Store. No, that's my Switch. That's just me every weekday. Everyone's down in the hall again, still not knowing who the murderer is, but Justy had heard a noise. They do not know who the victim is, so they just go on their day. Or no, everyone's still in the massacre hall for some reason. After all of this, Justy presents her theory. It's hey, the asexual bastard isn't here, so maybe he's dead. Of course, I can't count him or anyone else until we get definitive proof that they died. But of course, the detective is arresting innocent party guests, so we can't get definitive murderer proof either. So, before we continue, does anyone have any ideas?
Okay, let's just go follow the detective. Probably.
Wait, my friend disappeared, the one with the cat ears. Is he dead?
Who knows?
Last time I checked, they had
Anyone not here is probably dead.
asexual torso wearing device on.
Alright, that's great. Dr. Guy and Space Cat are back from going on wacky adventures. Oh, and there might have been a noise heard by Justy somewhere. Oh, and trigger another blackout. This one goes on for the full minute. Back in the hall after the lights have turned on, Justy presents her full theory. You know, maybe the asexual bastard and Elmo have been killed by someone, and they could potentially be in this room. Since, listen, she has heard at least 2 noises, and, you know, they have disappeared. After going through a list of people who could have potentially been killed, Justy gets into the truth that there's less than a minute remaining. Funny thing, I mentioned that the game literally ends right after that. Bundled in with that is confirmation that Elmo and the asexual bastard did indeed die, so I'll count them, even though their deaths were only heard by sound. And while discussing about the nature of the murderer, it looks like Justy's getting that fate for herself. Her first victim is the murderer from last round, the doctor guy, who she congratulates for being such a good murderer for not being caught for 15 minutes straight. Since the doctor guy does not have any suspicions against Justy at all, she's able to get the last laugh on him and kill him due to his unsuspiciousness of her. Afterwards, she escapes for a secret passage. She comes through on the other side after waiting for players to leave. She then proceeds to cause a blackout, which turns her vision green instead for night vision? In front of the fucking detective, she decides to kill someone new named Alexis and Elmo right in front of the detective before knocking that guy out. She gets arrested. After that, the next game begins with Space Cat in the same room as Justy. However, in this game, not much of note happens except a blackout. And, oh yeah, more stuff in the kitchen.
I thought you were about to ask for fucking pizza question again.
After yet another blackout. But until finally, something else happens. The murderer says that, hey, the innocents can just win. But before that, he just has to get one more kill down. Doc, who he just kills inconspicuously. In the next round, Justy is, yet again, the murderer. After going for a secret passage and exiting that bedroom, Justy decides to get a little devious and turn off the power for a blackout. In this blackout, she's managed to land 3 kills, the doctor guy, Alexis, and I think Elmo, all within the same span of about 10 seconds. After all of that, she runs into the detective, who has a pretty freaking sweet voice.
Hey, buddy, so I have a few questions for you if you don't mind asking. I mean, telling, fuck.
Yeah, what's your questions?
That is a good question. I don't remember. Have a nice day.
A bit later, she fails to kill at least a lot of people, and I think turns on another blackout. Blackout-itis. And then she causes yet another blackout. And finally, she gets let down by the detective, who starts her interrogation.
Hello. So, we finally come face to face. Any words? No, nothing. Not some kind of dramatic evil monologue. Come on, anything. Dialogue, anything. Come on, give me something. Not even a backstory.
You know.
Ugh, people these days.
You know, I am doing a stat to my count of almost 7,000 deaths counted.
Fucking what?
That 7,000 kills remark is a reference to how I think next episode will reach our 7,000th kill counted on the channel. Luckily, next round, the detective is the exact same guy. Down in the hall, some questioning is being asked. Overall, this round is the same. Not really that much happens, because Cody VR gets arrested and then boom, the game ends. I guess the murderer left. Oh, and as an exclusive twist, Justy's the murderer, yet again. First of all, Justy already has her goals set straight, as she immediately sets off a blackout so she can get infinitely more kills. Sadly, the doctor guy and Doc both get killed right before the game just suddenly ends on us. Drat, the detective left. We'll never know who the murderer was. This time, Justy's a detective. That's very fun. Inside here, we get a lot of new cast members, but that is sadly undermined by the murder aspect of all of this. And also, I guess, Justy just loves shooting off that gun. Justy doesn't really have a plan, so they just grab a suspect. The suspect getting arrested was just a party guest. Eventually, everyone ends up spawning in. Everyone is getting into yet another heated political debate about who the murderer could probably be, and we also do see a woman with a chicken hat on. Ah, man, this game can be really funny sometimes, but also, sadly, this is where the movie eventually ends, as Justy just walks into a fucking door. How many people died when you just grab a lot of people, throw them to a party, and say one of them's the murderer? Let's find out and get to the numbers, but first, I have to get some content. Alright, hey guys, we're gonna be playing some very epic Among Us today, so you don't want to miss how this all ends up. I'm going to be the imposter, and I assure you that fact will not be a lie. God damn it, Kyle. 28 people died in Flick Flick 3, twice that of Flick Flick 1. Good job! The victims consisted of 17 men and 11 women, giving us this pie chart, although, still, even though it's even, it's the least varied of the entire franchise. With a runtime of 86 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 3.07 minutes. I'll give the Amethyst Flame for its Elmo's killing spree during that blackout. It's legitimately amazing how they managed to pull that off. Broken Pistol can be Elmo and the Asexual Bastard. We only had a sound cue to determine that they died, although I did like the mystery surrounding it. And that's it. Flick Flick 3 was released in 2023, and right now is the latest GGF871 film. I'll continue doing these voiced GGF871 films when I have the time to, but until then, I'm Justy Natalie Rose, and this has been a parody. Thanks a lot for watching this parody. It should be nice to y'all that I finally gave you a kill count after a month of being left off this channel. Damn, that fucking sucks for you guys. So, anyways, I'm gonna finally start work on the whole Luva boss stuff. So, make sure you look out for that, and thanks for watching.